Hi, boys and girls. I'm going to read from One Well. Today is Monday, so this is for Monday, June 1st's assignment. It is found in the ELA section, or excuse me, the language arts section of the Google Classroom, okay, under classwork and under language arts, okay? So I am reading pages 20 and 21 of One Well, and I'm going to show you these pictures, and I think these pictures are just gorgeous. So this is titled Access to the Well, and we discussed in our Google Hangout today that when you have access to something, it means you're able to get it and therefore use it. Okay, so when you have internet access or Wi-Fi access, you have it, right? You have the internet or you have Wi-Fi, and you're able to have it and to use it. So this is access at the well. So in other words, you have access to the water from the well. And remember, when they're talking about the well, they're talking about all of the water on earth. And we've already established that there really is just one source of water in the whole world. Even though there is water in oceans and in lakes and in rivers and underground, right? And frozen in icebergs and glaciers, all of that water is the same water that has been used for billions and billions of years. There is no real new water. It might seem like there's new water when it rains, but that's the water cycle, right? So the water comes from wherever it's coming from, groundwater, from the grass in the morning, right? When the grass is wet, from oceans, from rivers, and it's just going up into the atmosphere in a cycle, okay? I'm trying to make a circle with my hand, right? It evaporates, it collects up in clouds, and then it comes down as precipitation, okay, in the form of rain, snow, hail, okay? So what we're discovering, though, through this book is that it doesn't seem that there's the same amount of water for everyone on our earth, okay? So today I'm going to read to you about access to the well. So who has access to the well? And where in the world is the most access, okay? And what you're doing today on the assignment, and I'm going to show you here, it looks just like this, okay? Your assignment looks just like this. It's pages 20 to 21, and there will be 3 questions here. They're called initial questions. I didn't write them down. And then you are going to write the key details from the text. So you're going to respond to the question. So you're going to look at the question, and then you're going to respond with key details from what I read to you. Not just from what stuff that you know, because you might have some really good background information on this, but you're going to use details from the text, okay, in the middle column of the chart. And then the last column of the chart is new questions that you might have, or new things that you were thinking about that are come from the question, okay? So I'm just going to put my phone back here, and I'm going to actually, bring up the questions on my laptop. Sorry about that, boys and girls. Okay, so the first question is, what does it mean to have access to the well? Okay, so think about that while I'm reading it. What does it mean to have access to the well is the first question. The second question is who? Who has access to the well? And the third question is, what happens when people don't have access to the water? Okay, all right, I'm going to start reading on page 20. Access to the well. Some families are lucky. They can turn on the tap for drinking water, to fill a bathtub, wash their cars, or water their gardens. But other families around the world are less fortunate. That means they are less lucky. 1 billion people, almost 16% of Earth's population, have to walk more than 15 minutes to get to the nearest water supply. There, they gather water for the day. Just a few jugs, barely enough for drinking, cooking, and cleaning. Other families don't have access to enough water to meet even these most basic needs. So you think about your basic needs of drinking water, of using water to clean with, Some families don't have the ability to turn on the tap. That means to turn on the faucet. While the amount of water on Earth is always the same, the distribution of water access across the world isn't. Huge differences in rainfall can happen from country to country and even within the same country. Less rainfall means less water available in lakes, rivers, and aquifers. Sometimes there just isn't enough water where it's needed most. Because water is not evenly distributed across the globe, nearly 1/5 of the world's population does not have access to enough water. So that means if you took all the people in the world, no matter where they live in the world, 1/5 of them, you know about fractions, right? If you partition the number of people in the world into 5 equal parts, 1/5 of all the people in the world across the globe do not have access to enough water. Many of these people live in Africa and Asia. North America, that's the continent we live on, North America has 1/3 the population of Africa. So a lot less people in North America as there is in Africa. Yet North Americans use 3 times as much water. How is this possible? Nearly 300 million people live in Africa do not have access to enough fresh water. Okay, so how is that possible? Think about rainfall, right? Think about where the water is, okay? This is a picture and it is a graph. It is a pictograph. It might not look exactly like what you've seen in your math books, but it is very much a pictograph. This is basically the title. The title is Average Daily Water Use per Person. Average daily water use per person. So they're showing you here, and then it says place. I'm going to try to take a picture of this and post it with the lesson, okay, with this video, okay? So this is North America. Each jug or bucket of water, and it tells you there's a key right here. Each bucket, one bucket is equal to 10 liters of water, which is the same as 2.6 gallons of water. So a little more than 2.5 gallons of water. That's what each bucket is used. So you know what a gallon is. You know, when if mom or dad buy the big milk, the big gallon of milk, that's 1 gallon. So each person in North America uses this much water. Each one is worth about 2.5 gallons. This is in North America, okay? This is Russia, the country of Russia. Russia is a very big country. Poland is another country in Europe. India, wow, there's a lot of people in India, but look at the amount of water per person used a day compared to the amount of people in North America. Nepal is a small country. Haiti and Ethiopia is a very small country in Africa. They use 1 bucket. So 1 bucket, remember 1 bucket is equal to about 2.5 gallons. So one person in Ethiopia, which is a country in Europe, uses only about 2.5 gallons of water a day compared to, look at what people on average use in North America a day. Huge difference. Okay, I'm going to read this down here. China and India are home to over 1/3 of the world's population, yet they only have access to 1/10 of the world's fresh water. So that does not seem equivalent at all, right? A bucket of